Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing your daily Walking Dead video for today. In this one, I'm going to be discussing some recent info from Greg Nicotero and Scott M. Gimple about the mid-season premiere, also about Rick possibly meeting the Oceanside. And spoiler warning, of course, if you're not cut up for Walking Dead. So I'll put the links in the description for you guys as usual, and then we'll do some Q&A questions afterwards. For a couple of new pieces of info we had an interview with Scott Gimple that was released, and then there was one that was released on Instagram by Greg Nicotero. So links will be in the description to undeadwalking.com, so you guys can go ahead and check those out. And very cool. So the first one is from Greg Nicotero, who put on Instagram, see you Sunday night, one of my favorite episodes of the season, with one hell of a badass Walker sequence, and he writes in caps, which is cool. Back in the director's chair for this one, written by the amazing Angela Kang. Then on The Talking Dead to detail all of the killer work everyone did on the episode. So that's really good news to hear. That's one thing about this season, if you look at it, there haven't been too many zombies, really. I mean, zombie apocalypse, but you haven't had that many zombies compared to, some prior seasons, especially compared to season 6 with the super ultra crazy mega herd, right? This season we had some in the premiere, and then, throughout we've had some, like in the water and that, when Rick and Aaron were going through it and all that. So there's been some, also with Tara on the bridge and that. So there's been some Walker scenes, but it sounds like this one's going to be really cool and it's going to be a big one. And of course, they want to get people amped, they want to get people stoked for the season, and I want them to too, because I want the show to continue to go strong, and I want it to, get as many seasons as we can based on the comic book series, because I look forward to it every weekend that it's on. Really excited for this weekend, of course. So very cool stuff. You can check it out for yourselves if you guys want to in the description below. Then the other one is the interview from Scott Gimple about Rick meeting the Oceanside. So it says there's definitely unfinished business there, and the information that Oceanside and what it possesses would be a very big deal to Rick. And somebody wrote in the comments yesterday, in yesterday's Q&A video, that based on the titles and descriptions, that maybe for Say Yes, which is episode 12 of season 7, second half, it says the group scavenges for supplies. Back in Alexandria, someone must make a morally challenging decision. So somebody wrote that could the morally challenging decision be Tara deciding whether or not to tell Rick and the others about the Oceanside, right? Because she promised Cindy that she would not, and she is in a situation now where it may be mutually beneficial. Even though she promised not to, they did show the gun locker that they had there, I'm sure on purpose. If you look at the frames and you watch the video, they show us that the Oceanside is a pretty good armory for the most part. Kind of unnecessary. Like, they didn't need to show us all that, if you think about it, because really it was just like, Tara, and like, what is she really going to do? She can't do that much harm. You don't need a whole battalion full of, assault rifles and everything to take her down. She's just like, standing there kind of deal. So, yeah, really cool. I really like that prediction a lot, and I think you're probably right. So if the person who wrote that is right, that would be episode 12, and then maybe in episode 13 or 14 we could see Rick meet, Natalia or some of the members of, or is it Natalia, and some of the members of the Oceanside to discuss, the opportunity for them to get revenge on Negan. So really good stuff, and I can't see them not wanting to do that, especially after Negan the Saviors killed all of their men. You would think that the girls would want to join up with Rick and the others and fight, and that could make everything, like, compared to the comic version, we could have even more groups, because then we'd be adding on, of course, we've got Hilltop in the Kingdom, and we've got Alexandria, so we have those three, which are the same as the comics, but then you could add on the Junkyard group if they join, if they're not villains, and then also the Oceanside, so that would be like 5 groups all joined together against Negan and the Saviors. Plus, if they do the tainted meat thing, which Richard, fed the pigs to the Saviors, and some of them can get sick, and that could dwindle down the numbers even further, so you can actually get like a pretty even fight. So instead of Rick and Alexandria fighting against however many saviors Negan has right now. We don't even know for sure. Maybe around somewhere between 50 to 100, I think. I haven't heard anybody from the show comment and say that exactly how many it is, but I assume it's somewhere around that. With 5 groups all together, all joined together, Rick and the others may have similar in terms of numbers, or possibly even outnumber the saviors. So we'll see how that all goes, and sounds really good. I'll put a link to the Football Is Here or Football Is Over promo if you guys haven't seen that one too. I mentioned it before, but it's pretty cool. You get to see, football smash with Lucille. It's fun. And then there was another promo there as well, too. This world can belong to the good people. We've just got to be brave enough to try. It's not about us anymore. It's about a future. So we got to be brave enough to try. Very cool. So that's another promo. And then we've got the one of Rick and Michonne walking side by side in the kingdom with Morgan and Richard. I'm sure Richard, of course, is going to like Rick a lot. Then we'll get into some questions from you guys, and feel free to send me more because we do have a few days going to the premiere now, so just a few. So send me whatever final questions you guys have, and we can get them in before this Sunday's episode. Freeland256 says, Trev Q&A, would you rather see Daryl befriend Dwight or Daryl beat the crap out of Dwight? So do you think, I think what he's getting to here is like, if Dwight leaves, like we're thinking he might because of the promos and stuff and seeing him kind of run all over the place and kind of losing it. So if he runs away from the Saviors, will we see him and Daryl kind of be friends? I mean, I would like to see Daryl beat the living crap out of Dwight. On first chance he gets, I like to see Daryl beat the shit out of him. But, kill him, I don't know. If they can both survive together, okay, I guess that's fine, right? But I would like to see Daryl at least beat his ass. He doesn't have to necessarily kill him, but he has to beat him down pretty damn good. Maybe knock him out, that kind of thing. And then after that, maybe Dwight, join up, and then they all fight back against Negan and the Saviors. So we'll see. But that's what I would like to see. Maybe afterwards, you could have them kind of be friends. But Daryl's got to take back his gear. He's got to take back his bike, and he's got to take back his jacket, all that stuff. So, yeah, for sure. Torrid says, hey, Trev, do you think you would be strong enough to become one of these survivors? So that's from Torrid. So, that's a really good question, man. You guys can write your comments below, too. Like, how do you think you guys would fare in the zombie apocalypse, getting to see Rick and the group all these seasons going through? Well, I mean, I think, too, there's a bit of luck involved with it as well, too. Like, who survives, who gets killed. Shane was pretty damn strong, and he gets killed by Rick. So, man, there's just a lot of death in The Walking Dead. If you look through the series from like the beginning until now, there's plenty of really strong survivors that didn't make it. Merle and, Tyrese strong as hell. A lot of the other ones too. So there's some luck involved, I think, for sure. Me personally, I mean, I don't even know, like, I'm strong. I would have an easy time probably killing, well, maybe not easy time. I don't think any of us in reality would have an easy time killing zombies, because if you look at, your forehead is so strong, and they always go through the forehead, right? So if it's like a freshly turned zombie, it would actually, even one zombie would be really hard to kill. Like we shouldn't overrate. In the show, you see them killing them all the time, like it's no big deal, right? But actually, in reality, it might not be that easy, because it's kind of like if you ever get in a fight with someone, if you ever fight someone who's weaker than you, so it's a lot smaller than you, and you can kind of throw them around, that kind of stuff. But when it comes down to it, a lot of times, and this is one reason why you always have to respect your opponent, is because sometimes, guys that you would think you could steamroll, if you take them lightly, they can land on you, right? And then it can go the other way. So you always have to respect your opponent. You always have to, respect whoever you're fighting, or whatever the case may be, because they've always got a puncher's chance, and they've always got a shot, right? So zombies, I think, not too bad, but for me personally, to have to kill other people, that would be really, really tough, because I'm an empathetic person naturally. I'm a good person, as I'm sure most of you guys are too, and that would be really hard. In reality, I might be somewhere closer to Tyrese, where I would be quite conflicted about that. And I mean, beating someone down is one thing, but killing people, like with Martin, for example, beating Martin down is one thing, but actually killing somebody, I mean, that's something that's like, geez, I don't know. I don't know how you respond to that. Like, could you do that? I mean, it's like kind of like you have to. You don't have a choice, but still, you got to push yourself. I don't know, man. That's tough. So, I think I'd be able to. I think I'd be a good survivor, but I don't know about killing people. That would other survivors. That would be tough, and you kind of would have to, right, in order to survive, I think, at times. So, yeah, good stuff. But you guys can write your comments below what you think about you and how you would fair as a survivor. Could you kill people? What would you have to do? Could you do it? Chris Shelton says, hey, Trev, love the work as always, brother. I was rewatching season 4, and I noticed Daryl had said Patrick was eating barbecue, the sick pigs, the day before he got sick and died, turned. Do you think this will happen with some of the saviors from the sick pigs, from Ezekiel and Richard? Yeah, that's part of why I mentioned it before, because I read this prior. Great comment from Chris Shelton. I think you're right. I think that's what we're going to see. I think that Richard's plan actually is going to work, and it's going to cause a good number of the saviors to get sick. Some of them die, dwindle down their numbers a little bit, at least go in the right direction. And I think that's what they're going for. I think you got it. I think that's exactly what they're going for. Cigar Nixica says, Eugene is a very cock-blocked individual who thirsts for sex. Bro, what the hell, man? I'm going to read this stuff, right? He probably doesn't care. Negan knows this right offhand and will use his virginity against him. I like your predictions, man. Will Eugene betray the survivors so he can use Negan's wives? His ammunition production and other skills will definitely earn him enough to attain this privilege. Eugene, I don't even know. I think you're right that he probably will be the one to kind of betray them. But then again, from his perspective, he's not really betraying them. He would just be doing what he sees as right. Now, if he finds out that Rick and the others are coming and it's going to be war, and he still sticks with the saviors, now he's betraying them. So we'll see what happens with him. But you're right. Negan could use girls against Eugene because we haven't seen him with a female in the series. And we don't know. Maybe he is a virgin. I don't know. We don't know. Is Eugene a virgin? There's a top for a video. How would you guys like that in your subscription feed? Is Eugene a virgin? That'd be funny. Nice. Zachary Johnson says, I agree with you 99% of your opinions on The Walking Dead. I still to this day, though, think that JDM's Negan is a crappy bad guy. If Negan kills you, he kills you. If Gareth kills you, he eats you. Gareth is way scarier than Negan. And, in a lot of ways he is. You're right. In a lot of ways, Negan is something to fear because he's the most powerful character we've ever seen as a villain. But by no means is he the scariest in terms of what he'll do. He is pretty scary, though, because, another bad guy might just give you a bullet, and that's great. I mean, compared to being, beaten to death with a bat, a bullet is a quick end, probably a lot less painless than being beaten to death with a bat. So, yeah, there's that, but then even more painful than that is a slow death from someone like Gareth, who will capture you, eat parts of you, keep you alive, eat the rest of, that's brutal. So he's one of the scariest bad guys in all The Walking Dead for sure. And that's part of why I really like that story arc, and fans did too. It did really, really well for ratings, if you guys remember. So that'll be it for today's Q&A, guys. Keep sending me your questions for a few more leading up to the mid-season premiere, and of course, this Sunday, the review as usual, all the usual good stuff. I can't wait for it. Very excited. And if you guys like this video, please thumb it up below. You can also share, you can favorite, and if you're new and you want to subscribe, bottom left to subscribe. So for this one, guys, we'll see you again soon for another. Trev, same peace. Later, guys. See ya. You can share, you can favorite, you can subscribe. Hell, you're all going to be doing that.